Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the heart of football country. If you're a Packers fan, you know all about Lambeau Field and the frozen tundra, but what you may not know is about this race facility right here, the Milwaukee Mile. It's ancient. It's been around since 1954, just a tick over a mile, as advertised as a mile race distance. Here tonight, the Demon Cup Series invades. We're currently in qualifying right now. Eddie Baker currently on the pole with a 29.89. Go ahead and pull up that timing tower for you guys so you can see exactly what is happening on the racetrack right now as far as the speeds go. And as promised, that 84 machine of Eddie Baker, the fast man in town right now. We're about 3 minutes and 28 seconds through qualifying this evening. What do you say we pull up that track information for you guys tonight? Let's go ahead and get rid of that for you. There you go. Race information. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us live here on Ghost Racing Network tonight. Weather picturesque, could not be better. 79 degrees Fahrenheit ambient air temperature. Just a smidge of humidity in the air. And there's something a little strange here with the winds this evening. That looks a little sus, but hey, we're going to roll along with it as picturesque day here on tap. As we had the set for a night race, once we realized that we didn't have any lights here, we switched things up a little bit just to go ahead and make it unique, a little different. A couple of drivers brought donuts. The Godfather, Chris Papa, brought some coffee for the broadcast team. We get locked in, ready, set to rock and roll here for 90 miles, a hard charge and high fly and high octane Racing action in prime time once again. Mike White currently out there on the racetrack right now. Is that 19 machine. He's going to put a lap up here. And this facility here holds about 36,000 race fans. See him there working the bottom of the racetrack, eating on the inside. That's the shortest distance around this place. That's the fastest way to get down to business. And let's see where that's going to slot Mike White. Looks like that's going to be good for that 19th place position right now. Oh, wow, he picks up a ton. Mike White with a power move on the second lap there goes a 30.08. That's good for fourth now. So inside the top five there for Mike White. Going to go ahead and lock it down. He's happy with that. He's going to go ahead and get off track here. Going to see if we waiting for anyone else here to make their initial qualifying, and we are. Kerry Cleaver in the 64, yet to turn a lap. Jackson Dixon in the 33. Just mentioning Chris Papa, there he is. Let's go ahead and cut to him. The Godfather, Chris Papa, the 1.3 speed machine. Let's go on board with him so he can take a lap around here with him right along. You see that speed in the bottom right-hand corner. North of 145 miles an hour before he jumps hard on the binders. That truck's hooked up pretty good there. He's actually running a little bit of the curbing there. And see how he transitions back onto the loud pedal. Papa brings it to a halt there. Going to wrap up his qualifying run. That's going to be good for that 17th place position. This qualifying now comes to an end here from Wisconsin. Looks like the 84 of Baker is going to get credited with the pole here this evening. So we get ready for these drivers to start the grid tonight. Doesn't look like Jackson Dixon, Kerry Cleaver, Robert Gerard in the 311 machine, or Johnny Williams put down a lap. I do know that, or I should say, I believe the 33 is going to be serving a penalty here, which may be indicative why he did not decide to qualify. You know, try to go ahead. Great, good call on his part. Don't try to prevent any incidences from happening out there on the racetrack. You know, so why not start from the back? Good call from the 33 team. We still wait for the field to start to grid here. I want to thank everyone for joining us live here on GRN. Go ahead, let us know in the chat who you're pulling for tonight. That'll help them rise to the occasion a little bit, shout them out, as well as get your favorites some additional airtime here this evening. Drivers currently in their drivers meeting right now at this time. There we go. Take a look at our starting grid here tonight. Kevin Coleman in that, or excuse me, Eddie Baker in the 84 machine. He's going to get credit with the pole tonight. Fast lap at 29.888. Kevin Coleman, the double zoot, the double deuce. On the outside front row, he's going to roll off P2. Gary W. Smith. Ronnie Sizemore Racing going to roll off in that third place position. Outside of him, Mike White. He's going to roll off fourth. Fifth belongs to the 38 of Justin Potts. 6, Austin Wheels Wheeler. Look for him to be lighting it up here in prime time tonight. 7th, Randy Schuler. Jeff Lemire is going to roll off in that 8th place position. And then rounding out your top 10 here this evening, it's going to be Ryan Phillips, Mark Robinson Jr. in the 4. Mike Sebanovsky, good qualifying effort here just outside the top 10, rolls off 11th. 12th, from 12th, Mike Allen in the 29 ride. As that field now is getting racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll here, do battle once again. At iRacing.com, pace truck out on the racetrack. We begin to roll off now. Some great looking paint schemes out there tonight. Really digging the paint scheme on that 3 machine being piloted by Gary W. Smith. Kevin Coleman, the 00. Eddie Baker on the front row. What do you say we go on board with our pole sitter here, Eddie Baker, as we take the green flag here tonight? See that field lined up, racked and stacked, ready to rock and roll. Lights are out on that iRacing.com pace truck. Want to see how quick he accelerates? There's his telemetry on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. He's going to have the button. Green flag in the air, and it is on here from the Milwaukee Mile. No time getting over 100 miles an hour as he continues to go ahead and charge into the turns 1 and 2 complex. Now down the backstretch for the first time this evening. Two by two action, Noah's Ark situation all over the place. These guys fanning out and going to war already. Lap 1 in the books, gets through everything cleanly. Oh, caution on the racetrack just as I say that. And we're going to have to slow things down here once again, folks, as we just get going. Not sure what happened here. We just literally had the initial green flag, and now a caution out on the racetrack. There comes that iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado. Going to go back to the point and slow this field down once again to a snail's pace. You know, as a race car driver, having an immediate caution like that, that'll do nothing but create fits, as these drivers are looking to just break the ice, get into a rhythm here, and log some laps, and not the case. These restarts are treacherous and hectic sometimes. You guys seen that live, just a 2x2 close quarters racing. And we're going to have to re-rack them, restack them, do it all over again now. Cliff Corvo there in the 9 ride in that 16th place position. Looks like he was able to go ahead and get himself a couple spots here early, as he's 2 to the good. And right behind him, the Godfather, Chris Papa. We say we go on board with him for a moment there in the 13 machine. You know, he's looking to bounce back, have a great run here tonight. Hometown West Seneca, New York. My old stomping grounds here this evening. 1.3 Speed Machine had a good look, got a great looking paint scheme on it tonight. Ford EcoBoost, of course, as always. So as I previously said, we're going to re-rack them, restack them once again here. Widen that angle back out for you guys. Currently, as they run right now, Eddie Baker continues to lead from the pole. Gary W. Smith was able to get a spot there. Eddie Baker, Justin Potts, Kevin Coleman, and Austin Wheeler. Newcomer to this series, but not to the SSIL. Because I think we could have a challenger here tonight in that 48 machine. Keep an eye on that Hubka Motorsports entry tonight. iRacing.com Pace Trucks pulls back off Eddie Baker. He's going to have the button, and he's going to send it through the floorboards once again. Climbing up through the gearbox as we fire through the turns 1 and 2 complex. Everyone through the top 5, top 10 gets through cleanly. We come out of 2. Motoring down the backstretch. Baker's going to open up his lead to almost 1 second now. This guy knows how to fire out of a cannon. Wheeler got way loose. It looked like Drift Night in that 48 machine as he is trying to hunt down the 38 there of Potts. Caution on the racetrack once again, and it may have been my old broadcast buddy, Robert Girard, or it may have all went wrong. Go back here to the replay. 54 truck there. Oh, it happens in front of him. The 4 spins, and Girard nowhere to go, and he goes up and just high fives the 4 machine. Take a look at this from Mark Robinson's view here. Just slow it down here for you. You can see him here getting into the corner. That truck just starts to get a little bit out of shape there. And it's just going to loop around. That back end's going to step out. And he's going to block the bottom lane there. The 33 of Dixon going to sneak by with a pass in the grass. And Girard has nowhere to go but into the side of that TRD-powered machine. The good news is minimal damage here for both these drivers. The silver lining, long way to go yet tonight. Plenty of time to recover. This caution back underway for the second time tonight for incident. So already it has been eventful from a racetrack that I don't think gets enough credit for its hard and challenging it is to get around this place. And this one can often, in football they call it a trap game. This racetrack here, if you sleep on it, it can chew you up and bite you. That field getting set here once again. Lights go out on the pace car. Eddie Baker, again, he is going to have the trigger in his hand. As we await the green flag here once again. Eddie Baker here on the front row. Kevin Coleman on the outside. That 00. We'll stay on board here with him for this restart. Green flag back in the air. Once again, we fire up 2 by 2, and Baker gets away again. But let's see if he can hold the line here or if he's able to get down. Oh, he thought he was clear. He was not. As pressure is there from the 3 of Gary W. Smith. So he's going to jump another position now. He takes over that second place position. Here's tough, intense battling As soon as that green flag comes back in the air, each and every time, just about 3 wide there. Austin Wheeler, bump trapped in Potts as Gary W. Smith, the fast man in the joint, fastest lap of the race at a 31:05 thus far. So the first 2 cars or trucks, in line break away single file for first and second. That's Baker and Smith. Coleman in third, also single file. First side-by-side action, you're going to have a little Chevrolet. On Chevrolet action there, Wheeler making a move. He was using more than the racetrack there. He was on the curbing. Right now, they're just playing back and forth between Baker and Coleman with the fast laps. Now, Baker takes it back as he goes 30-17. So we are starting to flirt here with a 29-second lap time. Caution back underway again. Got to slow things down. And what happened this time? I believe Cliff Corrival, my old broadcast partner. Oh, yeah. They tried to stick him in the hoagie sandwich, and they spit him out like the meat the minute they even thought about it. Let's go ahead and wind that back here. Slow it down, and what do you say we go on board with the man, the myth, the legend himself here. You see, he's turning it down in the corner, knows he has Dixon inside. Oh, maybe Dixon broke track. Maybe Dixon perhaps started to lose that. As you can see him now, just trying to counter steer and correct. Look at all the wheel he could throw in it. Does a great job there, saves it at first, and he's going to lose it again here. I mean, just look at the amount of input, which you can see here from this Goodyear Eagle. Great shot right here. Eventually falls victim to the calamity on the racetrack there. But similar story, not a ton of damage here for the 9. Perhaps a little bit of some warfare on the race suit there. First, maybe Code Brown moment of the night here, perhaps, for the Pop-Tarts ride. We now go back to the live side of things here from Wisconsin. Lights back out on the pace truck once again. Virtually no change at the point. Gary W. Smith going to check the box. He's going to jump up 1 position. Austin Wheeler up 2. He is now inside the top 5. He's going to be restarting in that 4th place position. Calm before the storm here. V8's crawling around here once again at pace speed. But that's going to change here in just a few moments. I can assure you guys of that. You see that first couple roll there is nice and tight. They're ready to rock and roll. And we are so on here on GRN as well. Green flag back in the air, and another green flag restart getaway for the 84 Baker. Some of these guys, though, they are really good at these restarts, and you're seeing how this is helping them crawl right into their wheelhouse. Who am I talking about? Curtis Rogers in that 65 ride, up 7 spots. Ooh, someone goes way wide, way up the hill. That's Rogers. I'm not sure if he's running a lane that high up on the racetrack, perhaps, but he seems to be quite comfortable there. Now he's brought it down to a more conventional line here. You got to be careful with that seam, though. Those darker patches of asphalt there on the racetrack when they're navigating here through the corner, that darker asphalt's going to have a little bit of a different grip characteristic. And if you get 2 tires on the dark stuff and 2 tires on the light stuff, that can make your truck really loose. So you got to be careful, especially as these Goodyears wear and put rubber in the racetrack. See all these guys battling for position right now. Curtis Rogers continues to run in that 9th place position. Randy Schuler there in 8th. Mike White's fallen back a couple spots from where he started. Still inside the top 10 in that 7th place position. Starting to get single file now here, and just as I say that, Curtis Rogers goes for another spot here. Eating hard on the bottom. And Jeff Lemire in the 25 ride. He is there as well. Now working lap 19, written in the history books. The inaugural race here at the Milwaukee Mile for the Demon Truck Series. Smith continues to carry the torch. Caution once again shows its ugly face here. We're going to have to slow things back down, but not for incident this time. That's going to be the end of stage 1. But I'm also getting a report here that the 9 crashed again. That's interesting. Did we double down on it, perhaps? Did we get the caution for end of stage, or did the 9 have a problem as well? Oh, yeah, he just smoked it into the corner. Put a little extra too much hot sauce on that one. But once again, no harm, no foul. Didn't hit anyone, kept it on the racetrack. No damage to that Chevrolet Silverado. Life goes on. Pit road instantly comes to life in the hottest place in the joint. Everyone virtually coming down, hitting service on their race trucks, and you betcha, this place is like a cheese grater. Very hard on those tires. Four tires, 4 Dr. Feelgoods, 2 Kansas Sunoco Racing Fuel. Oh, look at that. What a race off of pit road. I think Bryson got him, and he did. The 47 has a blistering pit stop. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. He came down to pit road on lap 13. Him and the 9. So, this is one of the rare situations where you spin, throw out a yellow, and better yourself on the racetrack by about 16 positions. That's what Cliff Corriveau just did. Is the Pop-Tarts machine just popped a surprise on virtually everyone out there on the racetrack. Welcome to the front, Bryson and Cliff. Up 13 and 16 spots respectively, and you guessed it, the 2 biggest movers in the race thus far. Now the first drivers that in line that took service on their truck that last pit stop, that's going to be Eddie Baker there, restarting in 3rd. So he's going to have the freshest tires on back. So that's going to be Baker, Smith, Coleman, Wheeler, Potts, Phillips, Schuler, and Mike White. They're all going to be on fresh Goodyear Eagles. There's going to be about a 8-lap difference or so between the tires on the 47 and the 9. This ought to be interesting. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step aside really quick, pay some bills, But don't worry, we're going all out coverage. You're not going to miss anything. Keep it here, right on GRN. Race fans, welcome back to Milwaukee. As you've seen, as we step aside on all-out coverage, another yellow finds its way into the mix as we just cannot seem to get going here this evening. What do you say we talk to one of these drivers here momentarily as those lights are still on the pace truck? Let's pull up here Chris Corvo. Cliff, Matt up in the booth. You got me, bud. Cliff, it looks like you've had a little bit of a tough time out there thus far. What are those track conditions like? It seems it's like it's loose as a button out there.
It's a little slick. We got our bias turned way the heck down here. But you know, it's dangerous back here. I think the 33 had to pack it up and head home, but it's dangerous at the back of the pack. You know how it is.
Yes, sir. Hot and heavy there in the back. Godspeed to you. Good luck, man. Hope to see you keep your way moving towards the front there, sir.
Yeehaw, let's go.
Let's do this thing. That's my old broadcast partner right there, Cliff Corvo, as he gets ready to go back to the business side of thing. And Cliff, I'll go ahead and throw you back in Hockville Motorsports, buddy.
All right, boss. Good luck up there.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Always a pleasure talking with your former colleagues. Get ready to go back to the live side of things. Green flag back in the air. Once again, going to stand out and send it through the floorboards. Working now through turns 1 and 2. Once again, side by side. Noah's Ark situation there. Immediately, as soon as we go back to those green flag conditions, wasting no time going side by side. And all this close quarters action responsible for all the mayhem that we've seen on track here thus far. Looks like the 47 just jumped up here in the booth. Bryson, what's up, my brother?
Oh man, what's going on? I think you know what's up.
Well, I'm not trying to be biased.
No, that was my fault, 1,000%. The contact was my fault, 1,000%. I just misjudged the corner there, as I did 1,000 times in practice. I hate that for the 84 and all the Hubka guys. I'll definitely talk to Hubka after the race and the 84 truck to let him know that was not intentional. But
it did not look intentional from up here. It looked like a racing deal. I just actually had one of Hubka's Motorsports drivers in here before you popped in, Cliff Corvo, and he basically said it's a hornet's nest out there on the racetrack. Not a lot of grip. How is your truck handling wise out there?
Well, right now it's in the pits for 30 minutes. So
we got big time problems there. Not to cut you off there, Bryson. We had a meeting of the minds back there. It looked to be around like that 14th, 15th place position. That caution flag is going to come out yet once again. I believe Mike Semenovsky was involved in it as well here. But again, not to cut you off, but I just want to cover that incident there on the racetrack. What can
absolutely.
What can these drivers do to just go ahead and try to survive and be alive here at the end? Is it a combination of things out there on the racetrack that's, just accelerating all these cautions, or is it just, back to basics, just slow down, race the racetrack, and keep all four fenders on it and see where you are here at the end?
I think with trying to be careful what I say, we weren't wrecking a lot in practice. I'll just put it that way. So I don't think it's the track. I think it might be the drivers. I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? Just a little more patience. I know it's a short race, but 90 miles is a lot. So there's a long race. Maybe a little more give and take for sure. But and I'm pointing the finger at myself whenever I say that. I'm sitting in the pits with my hood up. So.
Well, the hood is up. The team's going hard to work on your truck, as you just said moments ago. I saw there on that last restart, you came down pit road lap 13 initially. The caution comes out again. You stay out along with the 9. Did you feel in that short run like those older tires on your truck were a huge disadvantage, or did you feel like,
No.
Okay.
I short pitted there. Whenever we got the caution, I knew that we were going to restart with like 5 to go. And so I went ahead and pitted just to try to maybe get some sort of advantage, because I had a pretty good truck, but I was in the 11th to 13th mark, I think, the whole race. And so I thought maybe if I could get up front and get some clean air, that it would work. And I only had about 5 laps on my tires, truthfully. So they were older tires, but I didn't go 100% on them at all in the short run to end stage 1. So I didn't really have a chance to see if my strategy was going to play off, so I don't want to say one way or the other. But with having basically an extra set of tires, whichever way that you look at it, I was going to try to gamble there. So.
And I love the strategy call there. Sometimes you got to do something to get all that track position. And I think, it was going to work out good for you. I mentioned in the broadcast, you only had a handful of laps on those Dr. Feelgoods. You had that TRD Prime Poison, great clean air. Sometimes it just doesn't work out how you hoped. And that 47 TRD machine on pit road. Bryson, want to thank you for joining us up here in the booth. Come back anytime, man, as we get ready to go back to green.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
Be looking out for the 4 truck. He drives for my team, and he
Mark
was really
Robinson.
fast in practice. And I know that those Hubka Motorsports guys are quick, but I think he's going to be up there soon. So
he's been making his way up there. He's up 4 spots from where he started in the 4. There he is right there. And as in the words of TRD, let's go places. That's where Bryson says that 4 is going. We're going to keep an eye on him for you, brother. Want to thank him for jumping up here in the GRN broadcast booth once again. And as you heard him say, he apologizes to the drivers affected from Hubka Motorsports. And everyone competitive nature, these restarts, you got to be aggressive. You got to get all you can. Just a racing deal here. Big byproduct of this racetrack, if you ask me. Did not look intentional at all whatsoever. We're ready to go back. Green flag racing here one more time. Green flag back in the air once again, underway. Coming up through the gearbox once again. There is the 4. Wasting no time getting down to the business side of things as he now closes in on the back of that 1-3 speed machine, piloted by the Godfather, a.k.a. Christopher Papa. Go back up to the front of this piece. New leader in town. That is Gary W. Smith from Sizemore. I think they may have changed that team name. I have to take a look at that. But nonetheless, that Chevrolet is getting good in the neighborhood right now. And look who is up to P2. I don't know how this kid does it. Austin Wheeler, a.k.a. Wheels, the wheel man. Doesn't seem like what you put this guy in. A semi-truck, a boat, a race car, a race truck. He just finds a way to get to the front of these things. Absolutely incredible talent. He was talking in the Discord earlier. I made a comment. I said, "You win enough." And he said, "What's that mean?" He said, "Hubka hired me." I said, "I know why he hired you." Because he wants to go out there and dominate everything under his umbrella. I don't blame him. So he gave this guy a job, and here he is. Normally in the Cup Series. However, you can now catch him Tuesday nights in the Demon Truck Series. And no surprise, runs P2. Austin Wheeler. Eddie Baker, your pole sitter. He churning, still inside the top 3, holding on to that final podium position there. Slings it into the corner. He's starting to apply a little bit of pressure up in the excitometer inside the cockpit of that 48. Top 3 trucks here are going to break away a little bit. Then you have some moderate separation. Back to Curtis Rogers. Oh, we got problems. The 65 is going to go around. Gets it off the racetrack. Other than a little bit of a smoke screen coming into the corner. Yeah, nope. Caution's going to come out. I know we're up here in Wisconsin, but I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about Curtis Rogers. And I don't think that's even going to register here as an incident. So let's see if we can go back to the try here, because typically it doesn't register as an incident. There we go. You can see he's just up on the top side of the racetrack's top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Perhaps gave it a little too much loud pedal there, and those Goodyears broke loose. In fact, let's go ahead and back this up for you guys. There we go. Let's slow this thing down. Let's go to the chopper cam. Jimmy Eggenfelder with the eye in the sky. These images coming from. You can see him there. He's charging, lets off the gas, coming down into the corner. And you can see already the back of that truck is just out to lunch. It said, no, thank you. I don't want any part of this. You can see him trying to save it. Foot still in the gas. The 4 of Mark Robeson barely skates by. The 19. He needs a new race suit. Throw him into that category as well. But no casualties once again here. Just a little bit of a not so Kodak moment there for the 65 of Curtis Rogers. That's going to put him back, I should say, bury him back in the field here. But still has plenty of time to rebound. Another close call here from the Milwaukee Mile. Guess who it is? Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I got 2 cats behind me that are deciding to have a face-off. Never seems to fail. Just when you think you have everything figured out, a new threat poses you. Can you guys knock it off, please? My old broadcast partner left the booth for the racetrack, and guess what? Right now, it's looking like a great decision. Is that 311 machine is out there leading. Wait, it says 54. Okay, I see what's going on here. So he got his normal number from Ghost now in the Cup Series, transferred over, but he's still showing up. Timing and scoring is the 311, but he's the 54 out there on the racetrack. So he is going to have the button. He is your leader. First time carrying the torch tonight in that EcoBoost F-150. Lights go out there on the pace truck. In Pittsgrove, New Jersey. I'm here for the good times. Well, you better be, because you got one now, man. Actually, a song by The Offspring, Let the Good Times Roll. Wonder if that's where he pulled it from. Well, he said no to 311 on the number, so probably nothing to do with that either, but one can hope. Looking for that iRacing.com Chevrolet Silverado to make that hard turn down pit road. Let us get back to the good things in life, and that's these demon trucks under green flag conditions screaming. All those beautiful V8s roaring in unison. A symphony of tyranny never sounded so good. Hard on the loud pedal once again, puts it through the floorboards, up through the gearbox. Oh, they're going to try to split them. The 3 Smith thinks better about it. Austin Wheeler says, I'm going to go up here and try to take this lead right now, and he does. He just went and took his lunch money. Come on, Wheeler. You can't even let him lead a lap. And just like that, the not-so-new kid, the 48, Austin Wheeler, enjoys his first lead here in the Demon Truck Series. That didn't take long. 48 machine now up 5 spots from where he started. Currently as they run right now, Austin Wheeler currently in the lead. Second place position is Gary W. Smith, residing in that third and final podium spot. And this, well, folks, you know the deal. That green, I want it to stay green. That yellow flag, once again, is upon us. And perhaps Hunter Bogdan and Chris Zofield had a little bit of a scuffle here. Go back to the eye in the sky. Let's see what happened. Bogdan's in the 8. Oh, he's going to lose it coming off the corner. Get nerfed by the 19. Clip the 9 and get flow ridered right round. Oh, and Chris Papa gets sent into the buckets. Oh, that's always fun. Those water barrels at the end of pit road, I'm not sure if they're water or sand. But let's actually back this up here. Now let's go on board here with Chris Papa, because he is going to go for a ride. Sees the smoke. He's going to get... Oh, he gets yeeted as he took the tailgate of a truck to the face and gets sent right in to the barrels on pit road. Chris Papa, wrong place at the right time. You know he was looking to have a good run here this evening as he's making us, not officially, but looking to run more truck races than cup races. So naturally he'd want to perform, here at the best level possible. Now completes service on that truck. Probably had to burn a fast repair there if I had to guess. Comes out of pit road here, takes it back onto the racing surface. So yet under caution once again here from Milwaukee. We talked to Bryson earlier. He mentioned they didn't have these kinds of problems in practice, and they didn't. I was here for most of it. It was very clean. A lot of good side-by-side racing. A lot of showmanship, respect out there on the racetrack. But that's, when you get down to business and it's time to, go out there and make the money, that can change a person. Whether if it's nerves, anxiety, whatever type of, situation you're in, if you need points, this, that, the other, that can change things. Not to mention, if you get into a scuffle on the racetrack there as well, so you feel like someone does you wrong, well, then you want to go back and let him know that, hey, I don't appreciate what you did. You start beating and banging, and then society just breaks down from there. Wheeler going to restart in that P1 position. He's going to have Gary Smith on the top side, outside front road. And that 311 truck, Robert Girard, still holding on to a podium spot in that EcoBoost F-150 in... Well, that now gets adjusted. He is now going to roll off fourth inside the top 5. Mark Robinson Jr. up 5 in 5th on this restart. iRacing.com pace truck, it is off of the racing lane. Here we go again. Green flag back in the air. Let's climb the gearbox through the floorboards. Let's see if we can stay green here. There's the 4, Mark Robison. He is going to work hard on these restarts. He is getting everything he can. You see him doing the back of that truck, stepping out on corner exit because he is putting all the power that he can down to the asphalt. Oh, misses the corner there a little bit. 3 wide coming off of 4. Oh my, how did they do that? He looks like Maverick of Top Gun, the race car version. He is, this guy is having a ball inside of that race truck. And he just checked out like he hit the afterburner. He may feel a little bit of a sense of urgency to get there because we're now working lap 55 and 90. That 4 is going places. He is going to the point. Let's go on board with him. Go on board now with Mark Robeson into that number 4 TRD machine. Take a look here at the time delta. You can see him closing the gap, as he now has the top three trucks in his crosshairs now as he starts to close in on them. The next truck up in line, that's going to be the 84 Baker, then Smith. Wheels is the leader, that 48 Hubka Motorsports entry. Taking a look here at the lap times. There's Coleman and Robinson for you there. You can see clearly where the advantage is right now. And if we shift up there to the point, very competitive. As again, it's a 3-truck breakaway here at the front of this thing as we now go on board with Eddie Baker. If you want to look back there to the interval, and caution on the racetrack as we have multiple trucks involved. Oh no, it looks like Chris Pop is going to be in it. Kerry Cleaver, Cliff Corrival, and the Pop-Tarts just keep getting popped tonight. What happened to the 1-3 speed machine? Going back to the eye in the sky here. Papa was in that 19th place position. Oh, Jesus! He did a Tony Hawk rail slide. Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm gonna need some water. Excuse me. We gotta see that again. Oh my God. Well, he always likes to do it big. So I guess either you're winning or you're wrecking. We're gonna slow this. We're gonna slow this down. Yeah, I think we got to go on board and see this one. Okay, so here's Papa. He's turning it down to the corner. The 29 either gets tight and comes up the racetrack. That's going to get his truck a little bit out of shape. You can see him throwing a little more wheel into it. And then just out of nowhere, with the front end in the air like a monster truck, he just gets cranked. Look at, what in the world? Is he probably didn't even know what happened. He had no idea that had to have been coming. I guarantee it. Because if I go ahead and let's throw this back, let's wind it back. I guarantee you Papa had no idea this was going to happen to him. Not in his wildest dreams. Let's back it up. Everything's going good. Boom! Just remember NBA Jam? Boom shakalaka. Probably sitting there trying to figure out where his biscuits and everything else are. Gary Cleaver, I believe, was the other truck that pulled out his Tony Hawk. Or embraced his inner Tony Hawk, I should say there. As that was one of the more wild incidences you will ever see here at Milwaukee. That incident's got the camera team so fired up, they don't even want to get back up there to the tower. See if we can get this thing back live for you guys. There we go. Well, we've had a lot of cautions here earlier that didn't involve, as many trucks out there on the racetrack. A lot of self spins, people able to, find an opening, thread the needle, if you will. But as we get later into this race, as the intensity picks up, that's not the case anymore. As Papa just got blindsided by a Tomahawk missile. Took it right to the face. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our second and final break. We're going to step away, pay some bills, but stay right here on GRN. We're going all-out coverage, as always, every Tuesday night in prime time. Race fans, welcome back live on GRN as the Demon Truck Series makes their first inaugural appearance here, or I should say their inaugural appearance here at the Milwaukee Mile here at the Muddy Banks of Wisconsin, a statement made famous by one of the great 90s bands, Nirvana, back in the grunge era. Originally from Seattle, of course, with that music, or that movement of music, I should say. But for some reason, the muddy banks of Wisconsin stuck. Sometimes during that era of music, a lot of things didn't make sense. But in the end, well, if you were there, you were there, I guess. Robert Girard. Currently back to the point. This man, I don't know what he ate before the race. I know Chris Hubka had some comments about the type of sugar to put in the coffee. Perhaps it's the Splenda. A couple Red Bulls. I mean, he is up on the wheel, getting it done tonight. Former broadcast partner out there just having a time with it. Get ready to go back. Green flag racing here one more time. Girard, he is going to have the button. Waiting for the green flag to come back in the air. He is going to stand on it, put it back through the pedal again. Gets away clean. Now he becomes under siege there from the outside by the 84 of Baker. And he is going to try to send it top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. And look at Gary W. Smith saying, don't leave that bottom open, buddy, because I'm going to come down there and steal it. Treated the 54 like a redheaded stepchild. Baker back to the front of this piece. Gary W. Smith takes over second, and they eject the 54 of Robert Girard back to third. Oh, we got problems. The 4. The up-and-coming prodigal son. The HMFIC of the league. Off the track, and we stay green. Are you serious right now? Sometimes when you just cannot catch a break, you cannot catch a break, as we are 20 laps to go here. And that was the 4 of Mark Robeson. You can see now he is mired back in that 13th place position. Is that TRD Toyota got just ugly. Back stepped out to lunch. He had to lock it down, and no caution flag. One of the rare times tonight that we've seen a scuffle and incident break out on the racetrack, and we stay green. Mark was having a great run here, but now finds a ton of work to cut out or laid out in front of him with just 18 laps to go. Heartbreak in the 4 camp. There's our safer barrier rider from earlier. The man who set Chris Papa to meet his maker. Mr. Blindside himself there running the bottom. Little side-by-side action right here. Here's Kerry Cleaver in the 64. Going at it right now with Mark Robeson. They get it sorted out back single file. There's Mike Simonovsky. 17th right now. Back a few spots from where he started. I mean, he has been either had front row tickets to a lot of these incidences or been in it a couple times himself tonight. He's done a great job of just heads-up driving on the wheel, finding a path, an outlet, an escape route. But it has cost him some track position here. Talked to him before the race, first time here. He thought, a win for him, best case scenario, is coming out of here with a top 10. Needs a little bit of help to get there as he's in that 17th place position. You're looking for Chris Papa. He is off track. That machine is decimated. You won't see him. Bryson Coolwell back on the racing surface, being scored multiple laps down in that 21st position. However, he is running. Back to the point, 15 circuits, 15 laps to go here. The Baker is cooking in Wisconsin. Gary W. Smith. He has been so close. We have talked to him multiple times after these races. You know he is hungry. He wants a taste of victory lane. Let's go on board with this guy here, so we can show you guys how hard, in fact, he is driving right now. Hard on the throttle. Gonna lift here, send it down into the corner. Oh, he gets a little loose there. You see the truck get free on him. And on exit here, coming out of 4, that's been calamity corner there a few times tonight, more than once, as these laps continue to wind down. Little over 100 miles an hour is coming through the center of the corner off. You can really hear the RPM start to pick up. 4th gear, H pattern, all these trucks have solid rear axle, nothing like the next gen. And the same thing here through the 3 and 4 complex. Last time by, Eddie Baker ran a 30.90. The Gary W. Smith's 30.89. So you're talking 100th of a second difference. And because of that, the gap virtually not changing. It's stuck right there at that 0.25 second interval. Now he gets a good run there into the corner. He's going to close that up to about a truck length. But they're lost a little bit on exit. And Baker's going to stretch it out a little bit now as we approach the 0.3 of a second range. Gary W. Smith trying to embrace the intimidator of old. Lurking, putting the pressure on the leader. Trying to rattle his cage, get him to make a mental mistake. Make a mirror drive. What happens when you do that? Well, you miss the corner. You come in a little too hot. You miss the entry, you miss the line. That gives Smith an opportunity here. But Baker's antidote to that is just turn on the afterburner and step it out of Dodge. And that's what he's doing right now as Baker starts to pull away. Holman, 00, having a great run here. Silently in that 3rd place position. He can hold on just 9 more laps. He'll have himself a podium finish. And we'll be chatting with him up here in the GRN broadcast booth. But ladies and gentlemen, as you guys all know, it's not over until that checkered flag flies. And how many times have we seen it? Late race incident, caution comes out, and it changes the entire complexity of the race. Now 8 laps to go. Make that 7. We're getting down to the wire here. Coleman in that 3rd place position. Randy Schuler in 4th, and rounding out your top 5, Jeff Lemire in the 25 ride, having himself a great run here again tonight. Ryan Phillips currently being shown in that 6th place position. The 19 of Mike S. White, 7th. Hunter Bogdan. You know he is hungry. He wants to go up here and be competitive. He's going for trophies, always trophy hunting. That is that 8 machine being piloted by Bogdan himself. Potts in the 38 is currently 9th. And rounding out your top 10, the 54. The Ghost now embraces his inner demon as he runs in that 10th place position. Curtis Rogers in the 65. It has been a tough go for him this evening. Up 5 spots to that 11th place position. Mark Robeson who was poised and primed to challenge for a W or at least a podium earlier. Stretch of bad luck has him mired outside the top 10 in that 12th place position. Gary Cleaver in that 13th spot. Mike Allen currently running in that 14th position and residing in 15th, rounding out your top 15, the 88 of Chris Zofield. He is even with the board started 15th, currently running in that 15th place position. Let's go back to the front of this piece here to cover the final 4 laps here from the Milwaukee Mile. Don't change in position inside the top 3. The Baker, poised and primed to get a W here tonight as he starts to stretch it out now even more over Gary W. Smith, who is almost 1 second off the pace of Baker. Lee Bryson joining me back in the broadcast booth. What's up, my man?
What's going on?
Watching these last 3 laps of competition. How about you?
Oh, doing the same thing, doing some race controlling, up here in the tower or whatever.
You guys have been busy tonight.
Yeah.
I feel bad for your driver there in the 4. We talked about him, and then as soon as it felt like you left the broadcast booth, you invoked the broadcaster's curse, and he had a string of bad luck, unfortunately.
For sure. Did anybody see what happened to Austin Wheeler there at the end there? That was crazy. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I was going through the field, of course, when that happened, but Wheeler now resides in that 16th place position. Oh, we got problems. We got a caution on the racetrack. We got a truck crunched into the inside retaining wall. So,
oh, goodness.
We have a caution on the racetrack with just 3 laps to go. And folks, what was I just saying moments ago? It is never over until that checkered flag flies. Take those notes you had, crumple them up, throw them out the window, because this right here changes everything. We're probably not going to get to a natural finish here, Bryson. So we're probably looking at going to overtime. What can we expect now, since we're going to up the ante just a little bit more here? And just like that, I believe he had to go take care of some race control responsibilities.
Wow. Coming to the white right there. That's crazy.
I know, right?
What more could you ask for, though, right?
You can't. I mean, from the broadcaster standpoint, for all the folks watching at home, this is what they love to see. However, the drivers, on the other hand, may be a little furious right now, perhaps. One's like the guy that was primed to win this thing.
Well, there's at least one driver that's probably not very happy.
I made a reference on Sunday Night NASCAR. Matter than a Keebler elf that got demoted to Fudge Packer. That could be the case right now. That spotter better get on the radio, crew chief, be that voice of reason, get him refocused back in the game. And that, talking about the 84 right there, Eddie Baker, he had this thing about locked up. He was checking out of Dodge, and on the final lap, coming to the white flag, caution reigns supreme. Now, Bryson, we're getting ready to go to NASCAR's green-white checkered version of overtime. What do you expect we're going to see here?
Another caution.
Another caution. So he's going with the logic. Cautions breed cautions. Do you think we're going to max out? We going to use all of the allotted green-white checkered attempts?
No, I think these guys are smart. I think they know how many they have and when and where to push.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of great talent in this field. Veteran drivers. Another strong entry, as I was covering earlier, Austin Wheeler coming over there from the Ghost side of things. All that kid does there is win. And he was looking to have a great run here until his luck kind of ran out and things got ugly for him, as now he is mired back in that 15th place position. and he has been on pit road for quite some time. Does not have the Cinderella story book ending he was looking for, but this does shake things up, Bryson, because Kevin Coleman in the 00.
How did somehow timing and scoring? I think the 84 and the 3 really messed up here, and I don't know what happened, but they must have gone around the pace truck or something, because now they're 8th and 9th, or did they pit?
So the 84 of Baker last down pit road on lap 90. That is correct.
Okay, so they did pit.
Yes, they did.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I
Wow.
thought the same thing at first, too.
Wow. Okay, here we go.
That's
It's going to get wild, boys.
He's absolutely right. Strap grandma in, make sure she's got a little more kernel-free popcorn as these V8s get ready to unleash one more time. Pace truck pulls off. We are primed for overtime. Coleman kicks it into high gear. Green flag back in the air, and he catches him on the snooze button. He's going to pull out to a 3-4 car truck length advantage. The 31 is Schuler. He's going to try to squeeze his way into second on the high side. He does. Caution on the racetrack. I'm starting to think you can see the future.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that whenever I was playing blackjack this weekend.
I stay away from those because they were never good to me. I was always one card short, busted out by a point, going over one, and it just never went well for me. But now caution once again. So now we're going to be utilizing our second green-white checkered opportunity here. Now, you folks at home, if you're not familiar with how this works, we're going to get a green flag. As the field takes the green flag, we got to come all the way around this racing surface, this 1 mile facility. If we do not have an incident and the leader takes the white flag, we are then racing back to the checkered flag. Regardless of what happens, we're racing back. If we come into a scenario where we have to go all the way and utilize all of the allowed overtime attempts, if a caution does break out at any time during the third overtime attempt, at the moment of caution, the field is frozen, timing and scoring will be responsible for deciding the final finishing results, which will be then displayed to you guys on screen should we come into that scenario. But we want to see this thing finished the right way, and that's side-by-side, door-to-door, high-octane racing right here on GRN. Any takers on pit road this time? Wouldn't think we'd have any, and we don't. Schuler currently runs in that second place position. Phillips, third. They have the podium spot locked up as it is right now. Hunter Bogdan. You know the 8 is hungry. He wants to prove and show everybody why he is here. He is just on the outside looking in. Potts is 5th. Even with the board, he started in that 5th place position. Kerry Cleaver, biggest mover of the race, up 14 positions. Eddie Baker, 7th. Rounding out your top 8, Curtis Rogers, 9th. My old broadcast partner, battle buddy over at Whitehead Racing, the 54 entry, Robert Gerard. And your top 10, the 19 of Mike S. White.
Well, I tell you what, this is the Demon 90, but it's quickly turning into the Demon 100 pretty quick. As about to take the green here. Hopefully not the 106. So,
fuel may become an issue here too, depending on if we go a little bit longer. Some of these trucks have been out there for a while.
yeah, especially, we get another caution, we're definitely going to see some pit road takers.
Without question, or you would think. But then some of these guys may gamble and stay out. We'll just have to see what happens. But like you said earlier, I don't think we get there. I think we get it done right here. The deck has been shuffled. It's re-racked, restacked one more time. Your front row, Coleman in the 00. Outside of him, the 31 is Schuler. Phelps and Bogdan, row number 2. The 38 of Justin Potts is sitting there in the catbird seat should somebody or something happen in front of him. Chevrolet Silverado bringing him out of the 3 and 4 complex one more time. Waiting patiently and diligently for him to make that hard turn to the pits, and it does. Who's ready to do some overtime racing one more time? Green flag back in the air in the 00. Gets out of Dodge in a hurry again. Got the flying V formation behind him. Oh, the 23 of Phillips and Schuler, almost high-five each other. 3 wide.
84 here.
At 84, Eddie Baker trying to take back, which he probably, oh, they're spinning. How did they save it? We're going to come back to the line here.
White flag.
White flag in the air. We're racing back to green as Eddie Baker continues to rifle up through the field, now door to door. He has got that second place position. Does Baker have the mojo in that truck? He is coming hard. Side by side, it's a John 4 special down the back into the 3 and 4 complex for the final time. Not going to have enough time. Kevin Coleman is going to come into the big W in Wisconsin at the old Milwaukee, winning the inaugural SSIL Demon Truck Series 90 right here live in prime time. The Baker, he was cooking with everything he had. Bryson came up all the way.
I tell you what, if he would have had one more lap.
One more. Have you ever seen a drive just a fire lit in the cockpit?
He went from from eighth to first on those new tires, or well, from 8th to 2nd on those new tires.
8th to 2nd.
Wow.
I mean, that reminds me of Jimmy Spencer back in the day, Mr. Excitement. If he just one more lap, 1 mile could have completely changed the outcome of this race, but that shows me a lot of poise and, just that can-do attitude, never give up mentality. As your winner, Kevin Coleman, burns the house down at the start-finish line. I believe this is his first win here in the inaugural season of the Demon Truck Series. Bryson, what do you think of his performance here today?
That was pretty fun. He I guess the 84, a victim of circumstance. It's the best way to put it.
Best way to put it, he probably doesn't see it that way. Well, at least now, anyhow.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know what that means? We're going to have to do a little chatting here with our top 3 podium finishers, like we always do each and every Tuesday night. Wait for them to come up here into the waiting room. Eddie Baker, our second place finisher, already there, ready to rock and roll. So we now await our other 2. It's going to be Randy Schuler, who came in 3rd, and Kevin Coleman, your winner from the Milwaukee Mile here from the state of Wisconsin. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here live on GRN. You had it set to the right YouTube, on the right YouTube channel. Now join the right broadcasting family. Come home to 6 nights of high-octane, high-flying esports sim racing action right here only on GRN. Smash the like button, ring the bell. That way you get notified of every single time we go live each and every evening right here on YouTube. We got Jackson up in the radio. Here we go, ready to rock and roll. Let's switch these over now. Give these drivers some time to tell us about how their race went this evening. Your 3rd place finisher tonight. It wasn't hard. I shouldn't say it wasn't hard. It was very hard and difficult for him at times. Welcome to the booth, Randy Schuler, Bryson, and Matt. You got a copy, bud. Randy, Matt, and Bryson in the booth. You got us, buddy.
Yeah.
I got you.
Well, hey, congratulations on a third place finish here tonight. That race seemed like it was dicey. It was treacherous at times. How were you able to pilot that thing home in third?
Well, just try not to be my worst enemy and overdrive it and take care of your tires and try to avoid the wrecks.
Now, you said be your own worst enemy. Can you elaborate just a little bit more on that for our viewers at home?
Just trying to overdrive the car, spin the tires coming out, especially coming out of turn 4. You'll lose it real easy. Turn 2 is pretty slippery as well. Just try to keep the tires underneath you and keep her going the right direction.
Very well said there. And it seemed like turn 4 was calamity corner at times. You've seen a lot of the commotion and a lot of the melees, kick off right there, as you said. Another thing I think tonight was a little bit more of a factor was those Goodyear Eagles. What were those tires like, and how did they transition over the course of the run?
I mean, you definitely started losing grip and started pushing up in the corners a little bit more, but just mind your own business and just keep the car in one piece. I got caught up into one wreck and had to fight my way through. So just pick and choose what your battles and try to keep the tires underneath you.
You read my mind, Randy. That's where I was going next, was that incident you had on the racetrack. And you're right, you rebounded from that very nicely. Great display of showmanship and having that veteran presence out there, being patient. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 31?
Well, I definitely got to thank the banana bread at work here, Chris and Jeff. Those guys have helped me out. This is my first league, so just open your eyes to more strategies and stuff. But definitely thank my family, and got to give my daughter a shout out. She's starting to love race cars. So hi, Lila.
That is awesome. So special to see him out there on the racetrack and having family members cheer you on. One of the biggest reasons why we do this. Congratulations, Randy. Enjoy it with your family. He comes in third, looking for a lot more here in the near future, right here in the Demon Truck Series. Moving on. Go ahead.
Can I add something real quick?
Absolutely. Matt? Floor is yours.
This is also my home track. So I live about 20 minutes, 30 minutes from this place. So it's kind of cool.
Hey, well, that makes it that much more special, right?
Exactly.
This track's been around for a long time. Probably a lot of history, a lot of good memories you have here. And that's awesome you're able to do that, as you said, at your home track.
Yeah, for sure. And also thanks to all you guys on staff to get this league going. It's a lot of work for you guys, so I appreciate it.
Don't thank me. Thank Bryson and all the league admins that make that happen. But nonetheless, you're right. They work hard and diligently, and we're happy you're here and being a part of it. And congratulations once again, man.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
That is the driver of the 31. Comes home in that third place position here at his home track. That is Randy Schuler. Now your second place finisher in that 84 machine. Eddie Baker was primed to win this race tonight. And just when he thought he had this race won, caution comes out on the racetrack. Then this man got lit like an inferno. Drove through the field on new tires that reminded me only of Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement from back in the day. He comes home second. Eddie Baker, welcome to the GRN broadcast booth, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I can hear the dejection a little bit in your voice, and I totally understand, but man, that was a heck of a drive to rebound how you did. What went wrong out there for you?
Just a lot of cautions. I mean, I was probably 4 or 5 truck lengths from the start-finish line, taking the white flag, and somebody was in the fence I saw doing a smoke show. It brought that last caution out to send it to overtime. So that really took it away from me. But the Sullivan Tire and Auto Chevy Silverado was pretty hooked up today. I seemed to lose a little bit on the short run, but on the long run, I was definitely able to keep the tires under it and make my way through. And I ended up, I took 2 tires on that last stop, so I sent it up there with just the rights.
That makes it even more impressive. And that, as fun as that was to watch there in overtime, you mentioned, your truck had some great long run speed, and it did. I mean, it was substantially quicker at times than the others in the field as you were checking out, sometimes in your own zip code. So obviously you wanted to see as much green flag action out there as possible. We thought you had it won. I thought you had it won. And then right before, as you mentioned, you took the white flag. Calamity strikes on the racetrack and overtime sets in. I know you mentioned some of your sponsors here tonight, but talk to me about that drive in overtime. I mean, at that point in time, was it just you didn't care how you're going to get positions back? You just clawing, fighting, and chewing. Yeah, you just see that you get back to the leader or however far you get up to the point.
I definitely wanted to get back up there, but I like to try to pride myself on being clean. I know with the road course last week and my debut there, even though I won it, it definitely, we had a couple of incidents on track with a couple people. I think the 23 kind of got me back a little bit today. He kind of threw a nasty block there at the end on the last lap of overtime there, but gave him a little boot, got him out of my way. We drag raced down the back stretch, and I was able to late break him and get back to second. I was absolutely dead sideways, hands to the right, coming off of turn 2, trying not to run into the side of him once I got under him. So that was kind of cool to go back and watch the replay and see that. Looked like something you'd see in Long Beach in the drift course there. But with the 2 tires, it was just real slick. It was all about the braking and easing into the throttle.
Yeah, if you want to unlock loose mode or drift mode, as you said, that's the best way to do it. Put 2 Dr. Feelgoods there and then go out there and let it eat. You mentioned the 23 there. That was Phillips that put the big block on you. You guys, that was just hard, clean racing there at the end, in my opinion. Very exciting. Fans at home going absolutely wild watching you. You charge back to the point. Eddie, before I cut you loose, let you go, man, congratulations on another great performance here in the Demon Truck Series. Who do you want to thank who helps you get it done?
Oh, I definitely want to thank the Selvin Tire and Auto crew for being on the truck. That's a plus. I want to thank my girlfriend for watching it tonight and watching your stream.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also, shout out to Kevin Coleman, teammate, WFO Racing. We went 1 and 2 in qualifying. Kevo got to keep fuel in the truck and stay out and keep the win. So that's a huge shout out for our 2-man team as well. So pretty happy overall. Would like to see less cautions next week, but hopefully we can keep up this streak.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Baker continues to cook here early on in his tenure in the Demon Truck Series with another solid performance. Thought he was going to have a win. Did not go his way at the end. Got mired back in traffic. Then we were treated to a 2-tire inferno coming up through the field at the end. He comes just a little bit short. That is Eddie Baker, driver of the 84. We appreciate you stopping by here in the broadcast booth, my friend.
Thanks, Phyllis.
Kind of putting the writing on the wall here. We'll be hearing from him a lot this season, I think, here in the GRN broadcast booth if he keeps up performances like that. One thing left to do, and that's talk to our winner tonight. Let's go ahead and pull him up here into the booth now with us. That's going to be the driver of the 00. The man with the plan. Coleman, welcome to the GRN broadcast booth. Matt here, you got me, sir.
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
The 00 gets the dub here in Wisconsin, the Milwaukee Mile. On that final lap of the race, did you see this coming into fruition?
No, I had a really up and down race, kind of frustrating. At one point, I thought I was going to finish, 15th. So I'm excited that I was able to pull it off. Eddie and I were talking the whole day, hoping that we could go 1-2, and pretty crazy that happened. I'm glad I was 1.
I know you're glad you were 1, but Eddie's probably wishing it was the other way around. He probably felt like he should have won that race. But, I mean, talk to me about your evening. It was anything but easy for you. I mean, you were in the hornet's nest a lot. I mean, you had some up close and personal moments with a lot of these incidents out here on the racetrack. As you mentioned, you were as far back as 16th. How were you able to turn the tides and take the win here?
Honestly, I was pretty settled in the finish in 3rd, and then that caution came out with they had 100 yards left for the stripe, and I knew I didn't have any tires left, so I just afraid to hold on. And then I only had like a half a lap of fuel left. So if we had another caution, I would have to pit. So luck was on my side at the end with even with how crazy the race was. I was, like I said, I was really frustrated in the beginning and middle part, and for it to come out at the end and you take the checkered, I got to be happy about it.
Yeah, you almost sound like you're in Las Vegas going high stakes mode, but instead you're over here in Cheesehead land here, the state of Wisconsin, as luck, everything fell, all the cards fell Kevin Coleman's way as he gets his first win here in the Demon Truck Series. Hey, before we cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 00?
The Star Hill Brewery, I like to thank them, my sponsors, and then Eddie Baker. Like he said, we're teammates, and he helps me out a lot with making sure I'm not screwing up too bad and getting too frustrated out there, because I wanted to quit at one point.
Well, I think you got one heck of a coach and a teammate on your side. Getting to know you, Eddie, and yourself over the past couple weeks, it's been a pleasure. And I think the series has two great additions as you guys look to be extremely competitive. Once again, he is your winner from the Milwaukee here in the state of Wisconsin. The 00 gets it done in overtime. He is your winner here tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, buddy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, only one thing left to do this evening. Like all good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. Want to thank everybody, all the partners, sponsors, and the drivers who came out tonight and put on a great race in primetime once again here on GRN. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso, my former broadcast partner, used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, ladies and gentlemen, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic. And we'll see you next time right here on GRN, the home of the Demon Truck Series.